Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Dr. Lainka Conley. I'm a lecturer in the university. I'm a researcher. On this channel, I do a number of stuff, but all the stuff I do, research is very central to them. Today, the video you are viewing is Exploratory Research Design. Exploratory Research Design. Meanwhile, I've dropped many videos on research design previously, so I encourage you to view these videos to catch up. So Exploratory Research Design is very interesting, a very original, a very important, relevant design. Don't forget, I've said previously that research design is like a building plan that helps you to put your research together and put them in perspective within the whole research process. So one important thing I want you to note from this video today is the fact that exploratory research design is basically very important when you are researching a new area where studies have not been conducted previously. So you need to understand this area because it's new. So you want to do exploratory research design to explore, basically to explore. And this is very important. It's a very important characteristic. Previous studies are not existent. There are no previous studies about them. And also, another very important thing is the fact that you want to use this exploratory research design to guide future studies. We did a lot of this during COVID-19. COVID-19 suddenly came and nobody could say what it's all about, the etiology, the epidemiology, the trajectory of the disease. Nobody could talk about it. So everybody was just running everywhere, conducting studies. No previous methodologies to guide. So we find it very relevant at that point in time. But you can use exploratory research design in any study, whether employment relation and human resources management, sociology, or even technology adoption. If what you are interested in is to understand this new area, and sometimes you can use different types of data collection. You can triangulate. You can do mixed methods approach. You can do quantitative data collection. You can do qualitative data collection. And it gives you opportunity to do open-ended research. You learn forward. Because you don't have the luxury of a priori knowledge. We usually also call exploratory research design interpretive research because essentially when you conduct exploratory research design, interpretative understanding is very important, like they say in sociological research. Some also call exploratory research design grounded theory, but they are quite different, based on whatever the processes they follow. The only thing that is related between exploratory research design and grounded theory is the fact that sometimes both of them do not rely on a priori knowledge. But exploratory research design want to investigate, to get new knowledge, to guide further research. But grounded theory, like I said in that video, want to lead to new theories sometimes. You want to conduct that research without previous knowledge, but you want to get findings, at the same time, lead to new theories or new methodology. So what are the characteristics of this exploratory research design? Is flexible because it's open-ended. You can learn forward, you can go back and forth within this framework. Then you do not need a priori knowledge to go through it. Then it's useful to create new knowledge. And this is very important. So what data collections can you use? You can use survey method, you can use ethnography, which I have a video on ethnography too. You can view it. You can use survey that you want to gather quantitative data, and you can use qualitative method of data collection. Well, what are the processes? What process do you follow when you want to use exploratory research design? Number one, you have to identify the problem. What is the problem that you are interested in? What do you want to understand? Problem identification is key. Then you create a justification. Why are you conducting the research? And why are you using exploratory research design? Justification is very important. Meanwhile, there's a video on this channel on justification of study. In fact, it's one of the most viewed videos on this channel. So view it. Then you create research questions, objective, and hypothesis. There's a video on research question on this channel. There's a video on objectives on this channel. There's a video on hypothesis testing. View them. Then after that, you do literature review. And this is where the issues are. Because you don't have much information or knowledge or data in this area, that means your literature review may not be easy. It's easier for you to do literature review when you have previous knowledge. In fact, the essence of literature review is to be able to tell you what has been done and what has not been done. Meanwhile, there's another video on this channel on literature review. So view that video. But in exploratory research design, you don't have much existing knowledge. You don't have so many of them. Yet you want to review literature. What do? You do what I call tangential review of literature. That's my original casting. Tangential review of literature. That means you review literature around the issue. Maybe not on the issue because you don't have much literature. But you can review literature. For example, if you are conducting a study on human resources management in fast-moving consumer goods, maybe you don't have so much knowledge about existing literature on fast-moving consumer goods, but you have in telecommunications. What do? You review on telecommunications. You have on education, then you review on education. You have on transportation system. You review on transportation system. That the knowledge you get from those places can assist you to narrow down, to pin down, to niche in on what you want to understand in employment relation and human resources management. At the same time, if you want to research into epidemiology of a disease, for example, during COVID-19, we do not have so much knowledge, but we have previous epidemics. What do? We review literature tangentially on previous epidemics that can assist us to understand the trajectory and etiology of COVID-19. That's what to do in exploratory research design when you are reviewing literature. Then you form your theoretical framework. Then you design methodology and justify. You collect data, qualitative data and quantitative data. Then you analyze your data. We have videos on theoretical framework, literature review, methodology. View them. When you collect your data, the nature of data you collected will guide the nature of data analysis that you do. If you collect quantitative data, then you do quantitative data analysis. We can use software, SPSS, Stata, and the rest of them, Excel, even Microsoft Office can assist. Then, if you do qualitative data, then you do what do? You analyze your data by qualitative method, because there must be synergy between method of data you have collected, and the nature of analysis you are going to run. This is very important. Meanwhile, then you can also do discussion of findings. What do you do in discussion of findings? You bring your theory together with your findings, together with your literature, together with your data, to engage in discursive analysis. Meanwhile, there's a video on discourse analysis view. Then you then conclude, then you give your recommendation. More importantly, you then tell us areas for further studies. Because the essence of your exploratory is to guide future study and get new data based on new area. So area for further study is very important. Let me quickly tell you about advantages and disadvantages of exploratory research design. What are the advantages? Quickly, it allows you to study new area in a new way. It allows you to also narrow down. That's number two. Narrow down. Once you conduct that large data new area, then you can pin down to a very particular area you are interested in. Then it's good for guiding future research. It's very important for that. Then it's flexible. Because it's exploratory, you can test different scenarios. If you want to do scenario analysis, you can test different methods of data collection. Then you can learn forward. It's not rigid, it's flexible. It allows you to test the ground. And before you narrow down on what is very important, it's fast also. Because it's a new area, it allows you to do what you want to do rapidly. It's very good for operational research. It's very good for cross-sectional research. It's very good for rapid assessment. So this is very fast and it's cost effective because it's a new area. You don't have the luxury of testing wide areas. You just want to niche in at the same time do what you want to do. Then it's open-ended. It allows you to do many things. Unlike if you do survey, for example, that as we limit what you can do into adoption of questionnaire. This one allows you to do so many things. What are the disadvantages? Number one, you cannot generalize findings from exploratory research because it's a new area that usually is small in scale. So you may not be able to generalize to a large audience. You cannot also reach affirmative conclusion because you're just testing the ground. You were not guided by a priori knowledge, that is previous knowledge. Sometimes you can't reach affirmative conclusion. You just narrow your conclusion and your recommendations to that you have done in a very narrow way. So in a generalization and affirmative conclusion can be difficult. They can be cumbersome. Because you are just piloting, no anchor most of the time. You just try to gather whatever you want to do and you are learning forward. So it's not so, you are not well guided. So it can be cumbersome because you just test everything, throw everything to the ocean, harvest everything and begin to synthesize. Also, can be time consuming because you are not guided within a frame. Your research is not well framed because you do not have previous knowledge, previous data to guide you and give you the boundary of the research. So it can be time consuming because you learn on your own. You are just on your own. You are the pilot, at the same time you are the cabin crew. You are the passenger, even, in the flight of exploratory research design. So also it can be labor intensive because most of the times you may not have new technologies, new expertise to help you. So you may rely on labor intensive approaches. Consider during COVID-19, we spent a lot of money, we spent a lot of time and energy because it has never happened before. So COVID-19 taught us a lot of things. But after COVID-19, we have been doing many researches for future epidemics, preparedness and response. I've been part of that, and I'm part of some of it even right now. Unlike before COVID, now after COVID, we have learned through our exploratory research design, and we know how to prepare for future, epidemics and the rest of. So this labor intensive can be a major issue. The labor intensive nature can be a major issue. But at the same time, it's very important to emphasize that creativity is very important. You need to be creative in research generally, but more creative when you are doing the exploratory research design. And you must be intentional, you must be deliberate as a scientist, and you must be capacited. So I've heard people talk about exploratory research design. Everybody, exploration. But most people do not actually know what it means. It means to explore new areas in a creative manner. Till I see you in my next video, please subscribe and share the video as widely as possible. Drop your comment. I'm going to engage with you on it. Bye for now.